Hello viewers, Eric the Car Guy here, also known as ETCG1 when posting videos here. I just finished up some work and I just wanted to do a quick little thing. I had actually shot 3 months ago, back in June. Yeah, it's September. It's September now, but back in June I had shot a video after a very bad day at the old shop. And on that day, I found out that the property that I was in had gone into foreclosure. It used to be mine. I had pretty much been, quote unquote, squatting there. During that time, you know, there wasn't anybody there but me. And I was pretty much waiting for the next owner to take over. About a year ago, it looked like somebody had tried to break into my shop. One of my windows was broken and it looked like somebody tried to enter the shop. And when that happened, I actually went next door to the restaurant owner who was there and said to him, look, somebody tried to break into my shop. You might want to keep on the lookout, not only for me, but for yourself if somebody's on the prowl looking for, you know, pick some whatever up. He ended up being the one that bought the shop. And at that time, you know, I introduced myself, I talked to him. He seemed pretty cool at that time. I told him what my situation was. He was asking about the building. I told him it was in foreclosure. I was just waiting for a new owner. And I was either gonna rent at that time from the new owner, or I didn't know what I was gonna do. If they wanted me out, they wanted me out. But I was gonna wait until that happened because at that point, it had been 2 years and I hadn't heard anything. So I was just kind of waiting it out, seeing what was gonna happen because I really did want to stay there. I figured I could just stay and rent. Well, 3 months ago, or whatever it was, and back in June, that same person had bought the building and I showed up for work. The locks were all changed and I was basically locked out of all my tools and everything. So I talked to my neighbor next door and asked him, you know, who had bought the building, and he told me, well, the guy that's on the other side had bought the building. So I went over and knocked on his door and talked to him, and at that time, he had no interest whatsoever in talking to me at all. In fact, he pretty much said that everything that was mine is now his because he bought the building and everything in it, and started basically saying a bunch of things to me about how I was a bad person for going into foreclosure. And you know, he had some pretty strong opinions at that time, very different than the opinions he had a year before, which apparently he'd forgotten about. So I broke in to the shop and I was trying to take my stuff back. And I was trying to wheel my toolbox out the door and, well, I made this video. Hello viewers, Eric the Car Guy here. I was thinking about some kind of subject that I could come up with before I actually came out today to the shop. And one actually was presented to me. It appears ownership of this building that I'm in had changed in my absence last week. And all the locks and everything were changed. And when I went to talk to the new owner, who happens to be next door, he started out to be rather confrontational. And I dare say that it almost got physical. And that wasn't me though. I just wanted my tools. I mean, as a mechanic, I'm sure anyone can understand that you work your entire life to build up your tool collection, and if somebody's basically going to take it and all of your stuff over, you're going to have a problem with that. In situations like that, I mean, he really, I hate to say it, but well, I'm not going to hate to say it because it's the truth. He picked up my pry bar, threatened to crack me across the head with it, tried to kick me in the nuts, basically all kinds of stuff as I'm trying to basically get my stuff out of the shop. Claiming that it was his, I was on his property, that kind of thing, and that I was foreclosed on, and yada yada yada. Anyway, I didn't fight back. My only interest was in my tools. He didn't matter. He was just an obstacle at that point. You find yourself, and I owned this building for years, and yes, it did go into foreclosure when I filed bankruptcy. A lot of reasons for that. Let's just call it hard luck. The fall of 2008 wasn't good for anybody, including me. All that aside, I kept thinking, okay, just don't lose your cool. You don't want to go to jail. You don't want to hurt this guy. I mean, I wanted to hurt him, but that's the thing. When you find yourself in a situation like that, and somebody's starting to get physical with you. Or you find yourself in a situation where you're really frustrated. Maybe you're working on a car and you want to just punch something. Don't. That, for lack of a better word, that is the path to the dark side. And that will land you in jail and screw up a whole bunch of other stuff in your life. So here's what I did. I came up with the magic words, can I rent it from you? And all of a sudden, the attitude changed. I went to the bank, I got the first month's rent, and now I'm here free and clear. Everybody's happy. He even apologized. And I was able to get all my tools back because they had gone through my toolbox, taken some things from my shop. They felt it was theirs. Well, it's mine again now. And the years of effort that I put into getting them are still intact. I'm not sitting in a jail cell or in the back of a police cruiser because I didn't get physical. I advise you to do the same. You may be tempted, and I understand. Trust me, I understand. I haven't always been this way. Maybe it's something that comes with age, but especially when you're, well, let's just say full of testosterone. It's really difficult to try and curb those emotions. But I gotta tell you, do it and you're better off. Right now, I got my shop back, which means I can continue to do business, and I will continue to do business. Funny thing is I've actually been looking for another place for some time. Many of you have pointed out, hey Eric, why haven't you put a lift in there, that kind of thing. There's no room here for a lift. There's no electricity here for a lift. You need like 220 to run a lift, and I don't have the ceiling height or the electricity for that. There's no point. This is not the most ideal place to work on cars. I've been here more than 10 years now, and I know. And I've worked on a lot of cars here. And I've been very happy to have the space out of the weather, because I used to go to people's houses with that toolbox right there behind me in the trunk of my car and fix people's cars. Things are better now. But just keep that in mind on this one, and that is, as the title says, be like Yoda. And what that means is, when you're confronted with a negative force, try not to absorb it and turn it back. Try to find out what somebody is really saying. And I basically came up with the magic words, and that was, here's some money. Once I said that, everything was fine. It's amazing how that can change things. But yeah, I'm out a little bit of money, but you know what? I got my shop, and that's what's important. So, kids, and those of you who probably aren't kids, I'm sure you have stories and comments of your own. Be like Yoda. You're better off. Because jail sucks, and everything that goes along with court sucks, all that stuff. You start going down that path, man. And if you're working on a car, come on, it's a car, it's an inanimate object. It may be frustrating you, yes, but it's just a hunk of metal, and your knuckles are going to give before that hunk of metal is. Keep that in mind. Anyway, I'm Eric the Car Guy. Oh yeah, I got some good news though. ETCG1 is now partnered. You might see an ad up there in the corner. Click on it. I'll get a couple cents. Why not? Anyway, I am Eric the Car Guy, reminding you, or actually, on this channel, I'm ETCG1. And I'm reminding you to be safe, have fun, and stay dirty. And keep those two in mind. Be safe and have fun. Keep it in check, people. Take it easy. Before you get your panties all in a bunch, and you start getting mad, and you start wanting to go at this guy with pitchforks and everything, that's not why I'm posting this video. I'm posting this video because anybody that's been alive for any length of time has encountered adversity from a person like this, in a situation like this. And it's how you handle that situation that's pretty much going to dictate a lot of stuff from that point on. So the reason I'm posting this video is not for you to go out and crucify this guy that gave me such a hard time and basically tried to steal my business out from under me. The point of this video is to basically say, you're gonna run into people and situations like this. Had I conducted myself differently, that's why the name of this video is Be Like Yoda. Had I conducted myself differently, I could be in jail. I could not be bringing you videos anymore. A lot of things could have been jeopardized had I acted differently. And it was extremely difficult to do the right thing. So I'm posting this video to just sort of throw it out there. If you find yourself in a situation where you feel like physical violence is the only way to solve it, I want you to remember this phrase, and I always tell myself this whenever I feel that way now. Violence is the last resort of a limited mind. And I want you to try to think of another way. It's not going to be easy. In fact, it's going to flat out suck. But look around you. Look where I am now. And even though that day, as dark as it was, happened, I'm here now, in this wonderful place. I'm still with all of you. I would say I made the right decision. What happens to him, I don't care. What's happening to me now, way better. And he's a part of my past. And he's not the first person. There's a lot of people that have challenged me that I don't really think about too much anymore. And that's what I want you to focus on. I want you to focus on the future and get your mind out of the present, because you can get into a lot of trouble. Be like Yoda. Violence is the last resort of a limited mind. I'm Eric the Car Guy. You can always find me at ericthecarguy.com or follow me on Facebook and Twitter. Or even better yet, meet me over at the forum over at ericthecarguy.com. We'll hang out, have some fun. Be safe, have fun, stay dirty. See ya.